Welcome back to another episode, and today we are going to be talking about organizing your tackle in your bass boat, or, I already made one about a kayak, so we won't really be talking about kayak organization today, but we will definitely be talking about how I organize all my stuff in my boat, from my rods, reels, to my line, to my soft plastics, and hard plastics. So, with that being said, I've got a bag of stuff I got from Cabela's this past week that I've got to organize. So we're going to throw those in some of the boxes that they belong in real quick, and then we're going to get to showing you guys around and how I organize all my stuff. So, I just got done organizing everything. I've got a bag of some stuff left right up here at the front of my boat, and that is because if you guys haven't been watching, I've been in a kayak tournament, an online month-long one. That is almost done, and I only have 2 days left. 2 days left at this point, today and then tomorrow. But tomorrow I am heading up with Rich Isaacs, which has been in one of my other videos, and we are heading up to East West Harbor on Lake Erie for a kayak tournament. So I wanted to make sure I grabbed some stuff for my boat and had it ready for that tournament. But anyways, I got it all organized. I made sure everything looked good. And yeah, so first we are going to start with my rod locker. Kind of empty right now because I've got a lot of my rods up and in my truck for the kayak tournament, but I've got some in here now to show you kind of how I'm organizing them. So yeah, I'm gonna grab the camera for this one and show you guys around in it. All right, so we'll come down here, open up the rod locker, and there you guys can see in a little bit. It's just a typical rod locker. It's got some dividers for the rod tips down at the end. I'm not sure if you can see those or not. There you go. And then at this end, it's got some shelves to stack your rods up. I do 3 top, 3 bottom, and then the rest of my rods I store in the bottom of the rod locker. So, as you guys can see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rods down here. Pretty much since I've got 14 setups total, I've got 8 rods in the bottom like these ones are, so I've got to put 2 more down here. And then the other ones I'll put here. And the best way that I've found to set them up is spinning rods always get priority with the tubes for the end of the rods to go through, since they're a little bit more delicate, I'd think, than the casting rods, and because they just store better in those tubes. So I do spinning rod on both outside, top on the outside, then this inside one, and bottom on the inside. Then these 2 middle ones I do casting rods. So that's kind of how I organize my rod locker. As you guys can tell, no rods go in of my rod locker without a rod sock on them. So I just don't want to break any rods while I'm putting them in and out of my rod locker. So I always make sure they have a rod locker when they come in or go into it. And as I pull it back out, I throw the rod sock in there when I'm about ready to put that rod on deck or use it when I'm fishing. So that's basically the gist of the rod locker. There's not too much to it because, most people have seen a rod locker before. So, anyways, let's get over into the next hatch, which is my hard plastic box. Alright guys, so I think you guys can see me here. So right here is my hard plastic box, or on my crankbait box, terminal tackle, everything like that. So I'm going to open this up, kind of show you guys what's all, how it's organized in here, and then I'll set you guys back, and then we'll go through with how I organize all this. So as you guys can see, there are different slots for Plano 3700 size boxes to go in. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then under here there's 5, 6, 7. So I can have 7 Planos down there, and then I've got 2 on top right now. That'll probably end up changing and being more. But yeah, we're gonna set you guys down, and then we're gonna go through a little bit about what's in each one of these boxes. All right, so I know I'm out of frame a little bit, but that's fine. I was really making sure you guys could just see the rod locker. So we'll start off on the top, and the top is the smallest box right here. It's a little 3600 slim, and that is strictly frogs. So I've got all my frogs right there. Some of these boxes, like this one's full. I don't throw frogs too much, but I do have a bunch of them. But this one's full, pretty much. I could fit a few more baits in there, but some of these boxes are going to be full. Some of them aren't going to be that full. Sorry about the bird, guys. It's probably going to be going on for the rest of the video. Those birds are really annoying. So Anyway, some of these are going to be full, some of them are not going to be full, just because I just got my boat back in September, and that's when I really started getting baits to have in my boat. I don't like having to keep on pulling baits from my boat to my kayak and back and forth and stuff like that. So I try to have the majority of my stuff just in my boat or just in my kayak. So that is my first box, is my frog box. All right, so next is this box right here. This is a 3700 Slim, and inside of this, I've got all my chatterbaits and jigs. All down this side, I've got different chatterbaits in it. There's not too many chatterbaits in here right now. I've got one on my rod. I've got 8, and then I've got 2 of these in there. I forget what name these are, what kind of jig head those are called, but I've got 2 of those in there. Other than that, I've got all my jigs lined up, and I kind of have them by brand and color. So like up here, I've got both of my 6th Sense hybrid swim jigs in there. So that's basically this box. And then let's move on. So we'll start off here. This is my deep diving crankbait box. It's one of my more full boxes, but I've got everything arranged by color and brand in here. So 6th Sense, these are all Strike Kings. These are Rapala, Strike King. Actually, no, those are Storm. Strike King. I mean, I've got a lot of Strike King in here. So these are just all my Strike King deep diving, well, pretty much all my deep diving crankbaits. Next up is I've got my mid diving crankbait box, and once again, everything in here is arranged by color, kind of, and by brand. So I've got all the Googans, the Rapala. These are some different brands. So there's Storm, there's Berkeley, and then what's that? That's a Rapala. Got some other mismatched brands. I've got some, I believe these are, yeah, these are Lucky Craft. Some more Strike Kings right here. Oh, well, or more Lucky Crafts too. 1 Strike King, 1 Lucky Craft, then 6th Sense. So next up is all my square bills, and as you guys can tell, I like throwing square bills. They're probably one of my most used crankbaits I use. So there's all my square bills. Got different ones. I've got the Rapala Brats. These are, I believe, Storm. I've got some Berkeley ones along with Lucky Craft. I got some different brand ones, like custom ones. Some Guggen ones, more Strike King, more Strike King, more Strike King. So as you guys can probably tell, I use a lot of Strike King stuff. So next up is lipless crankbaits. So I've got a good bit of lipless crankbaits right now, but not too many. I've pretty much got over here the Guggen ones, another Guggen right here, and then I've got all Strike King going up this side. Just different colored Strike Kings. Probably this is one of my most favorites to throw. I love throwing this Chartreuse Sexy Shad color. It works good most of the time over here. Over here, I'm not sure what kind this is. I'm guessing this is a 6th Sense. Yep, it's a 6th Sense. It says on top. Then more Strike Kings, and yeah. So I've got all my lipless. Next, all my jerk baits. I don't throw jerk baits too much. I just don't like throwing them, and to me they're just a pain to throw. So I don't throw them too much, but there's all my jerk baits. I'm not really going to go through them too much. I mean, you guys get the gist of the stuff I'm using now with my other boxes. And then from there leads me to my last actual bait box in here, and that is all my topwater lures. I don't throw topwaters as much as I should, but pretty much I've got some poppers over here, some walking baits, some spooks, another popper, another walking bait, and then over here I've got all my plopping baits. So I've got like I've got the River to Sea Whopper ploppers, I've got Berkeley Choppos, and then I've got a Rapala Rip and Stop, I believe it's called. So that's pretty much my entire box for topwater. I don't throw them too much. I need to start throwing them more though. And lastly for this compartment is my terminal tackle box. And I'm honestly surprised at how much stuff is in this box, because I used to not have much at all. So everything in here, I mean, it's pretty much self-explanatory. I've got all my weights on top. They're all Titan tungsten weights, just because that's pretty much the brand I prefer for tungsten weights. So I've got all my Titan tungsten weights up here on the top row. I've got some flashers just to screw into some baits, like soft plastic swim baits and stuff. I've got all my different EWG hooks. I've got 2-aught, 3-aught, 4-aught. I thought I had more than that too. I don't know where they went. Then I got some weightless wacky hooks, weighted wacky hooks, all my different swim bait hooks right here, jigs, or the tube jig hooks right there. I've got some shaky head hooks, got more swim bait hooks, and a bunch of Ned rig hooks. So that's pretty much everything I've got in here. I probably should get some more terminal tackle because I don't have a super lot of them, but it's pretty much all that I ever use. So yeah, we're gonna get all this stuff put away, and then we are gonna move over to my other box right here for all my soft plastics. All right, so I'm gonna leave you guys right there so you guys can kind of see what's in this box as I open it up and go through everything. So when you open it up, right on top I got my net. I always leave it in there, and then whenever I'm fishing, I will go and I'll throw the net over top of my fish finder when I'm making a run, and then I'll just leave it up on deck. It won't go anywhere. It'll just stick on that fish finder mount. So yeah, let's get into these baits though. So starting off, I think you can see them right down here. Well, actually you probably can't see them. Right down here in the very front, in front of all my tackle boxes, I've got all my extra line. Now this is all my leader line and extra line I need on days when I'm just out fishing. Here I've got Vicious 8-pound copolymer. I use this a lot for leader, for like friends materials and stuff like that, or friends lines and stuff like that if they need to tie a leader on. And then I've got mine, which I use most of the time, which is the Sunline FC Super Sniper. This is 8-pound. I use it almost for all my spinning rod leaders. I've got more leader in here. I've got, let's find it. There we go. My other leader for my my bigger, heavier bait lines is 20-pound Seaguar Red Label leader. This is what I throw on all my swim bait rods for leaders, on my frog rod for if I'm not throwing frogs, if I'm going to be throwing like little swim baits, or if I'm going to be throwing what else would I throw in there? Really just anything else other than frogs, I'll throw this leader on it. So all of that stuff is up here in the front, right in front of all my boxes. And now, as you guys can see, is my first box. My first box here is finesse box. And as you guys can see, everything is written on the front of the lid. And it's also wrote on every single side of the box. So, just so I can grab the box real quickly if I need baits. So, open it up. I've got everything organized exactly in that, flopped around. I've got everything organized exactly in that manner. So, over here, you got all my Ned rig stuff. I've got the TRD crawls. I've got regular finesse TRDs. I've got the Guggen rattling Neds, Robo Worm ones. Moving on, in the center, I've got the Dragon Drop Guggens. I've got KVD Dream Shots, Robo Worm drop shot baits, and then the Z-Man trick shots. And then from there, everything else is flukes over here. So, I just organize it exactly how it's written on the front of the box. And as you guys can see, that's how all my boxes are. So, next box, Senko's Trick Worms Wacky Worms. So, I use pretty much the Yum version of Senko's, so the Yum Dingers. I've got all of those on here. After that, I've got some Yamamoto, KVD, or Strike King, Guggen, Senko's. And then over here, I've got Zoom Trick Worms, some Zoom Speed Worms, and then I've got the Venom Lures Assume Speed Worms, and they work out great. And then underneath all this is I've got my bigger, like Mondo worms. So under here, I've got a few packs of different varieties of big worms that I throw too, like 8-inch plus worms. So that basically is the gist of everything in this box, so we can move on to the next. Next up, Kitex Trailers Tubes. Pretty much, this is all Kitex in here, or that type of style bait. So over here I've got the Venom Donkey Snatchers, and then actually I do have some more Venom. These are their crawl baits, which are really my trailer baits that I'll throw. I've got a few different colors. I've got the Yum version of a Kitech, what is it called? The Pulse. I'll throw those every once in a while. After that, I've got the Z-Man swim baits that they make, the Diesel Minnows. I like throwing those on swim bait heads a lot. from there, I mean, I've got the Guggen Saucy Swimmers, I got those Fat Impacts, the Kitech Fat Impacts, I've got more Kitechs, Strike King Rage Swimmers, more Strike King Rage Swimmers, more Guggen Saucy Swimmers, and yeah, all of that. So, I kind of just made a mess with all this, but it's alright. All these Kitechs are going to soon be put in a different box that you guys will see here in a minute. So, other than that, up here in the front, I've got all my tubes. I've got Zoom tubes, but my favorite tubes are the Venom tubes. I've got a few in here. I don't really want to take them out so I don't make a mess right now. This needs a little bit more organizing because these big Kitech packs don't fit too well in here. So, they'll probably get an own designated box here soon since they are pretty big and take up a lot of room. Next up, creature baits and crawls. As you guys can tell, it is completely full because I throw creature baits most of the time if I'm Texas rigging. Up here, I've got some missile baits D-bombs. I've got a few different colors of the D-bombs. I've got some Christy crawls. Pretty much just different ones. There's more Christy crawls. Here's the Kinky Beaver, or Sweet Beaver. Got some Guggen baits from the Kraken Crawl to the Bandito Bugs, all the way up through here. I've got some Z-Man Turbo Crawls, which are a little bit bigger version of a crawl. Let's see, what are these? These are the River Bug, so smaller style creature bait. Got some lizards. Really just a little bit of everything in here, and so this is probably going to get a separate box too, one for creature baits, one for crawls, just because of how much creature baits and crawls I have. So yeah, I mean, I've got to stuff this thing down in there hard. On the other side of those boxes, I've got my spinnerbait box, just a little Plano box. All my spinnerbaits are organized in here, and I like throwing spinnerbaits, so this thing will probably get more full and probably just get packed here soon. So, that's really all that there is to say about that. And then out here on the end is where I've got some of my bigger baits. I've got these blue containers, and as I said, some of the Kitechs are going to go on another container you'll see here soon, so I'll probably start throwing Kitechs in this container. So I've got all my soft body swim baits in here. I've got these big 6-inch Kitech style baits for paddle tails. I've got some Megabass mag slows and mag drafts in here. Megabass dark sleepers. These big bite bait swim baits. Got some producer swim baits in here. And then I got some of the money minnows in here. So those are really all the soft plastics I throw, like soft plastic swim baits I throw. So I don't need much more than that. And then up here in front of that is all my hard body swim baits. So I've got a Jackal Gantrel, I've got a few S-Wavers, I've got a few bull shads, like baby bull shads. I'm going to have regular bull shads here soon. And then I've got a Spro BBZ1 in the bottom. So that's basically what's in these. Alright guys, so I just got everything put back away, and if you guys saw any baits in here or anything you would like me to go over a little bit more, drop a comment below and let me know. I will be more than happy to do more videos based on what you guys want. So if you have any other video ideas too, then drop a comment and let me know. But hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing kind of like how I store all my stuff in my boat, and maybe it helped you guys with ideas on how to store them in your boat. It's a good cheap way to do it, and I've enjoyed it a lot. I mean, I know where absolutely anything I have is in my boat. So, if you guys enjoyed, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe because we're going to be doing a 750 subscriber giveaway once I hit 750 subs. And yeah, stay tuned for the Lake Erie fishing trip video coming up here on Tuesday. So, we will see you in that video. Thanks for watching. And yeah, we'll see you next video.